Capital News tonight. 20 arrested and 100 million shillings seized in an operation against the illegal forex trade in Mbeya. Tanzania joins countries around the world to mark UN Day. And in sports, Simba players and technical bench handed over motorcycles and other prizes for winning the Premier League last season. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. The police force in Mbeya has arrested more than 20 people for conducting illegal foreign exchange trade along the border between Tanzania and Malawi at Kasumulu town in Kyela district. Mbeya Police Commander SACP Ulrich Matei said that they also seized 100 million shillings in an operation against the illegal trade.
This is an operation done by the police force and other security organs aimed at arresting those engaging in illegal money exchange. We must observe the law. What is going on here is unlicensed and illegal. We must understand what Honorable President is doing, which is to control revenue sources. These people here lack understanding.
And the Minister of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation, Professor Palamagamba Kabudi, has said that Tanzania values the contribution from the United Nations Development Programme and that it will continue to live up to the goals of its establishment, which include protecting human rights and strengthening relations between nations around the world. Minister Kabudi made the statement during the 74th anniversary since the establishment of the United Nations, marked at Nyerere grounds in Dodoma.
The United Nations, working with member states, have worked hard to lay the foundation on different areas. It has strengthened relations between member states in many areas, making our world peaceful and safe for this and future generations. Education is the only way for girls to realize their dreams and to be future leaders.
Katavi National Park has started construction of a 4-water dam at a cost of more than 100 million shillings. This is to enable hippos to access the water, particularly during the dry season. When the river dries up, the developments are an implementation of a directive given recently by President Dr. John Magufuli during his tour of Katavi region.
When there is enough water, it spills over, and in dry season, we've drilled a borehole used to pump water to the river. We expect to have at least 22,500 cubic meters. We have so far drilled 2 meters. We will trim the edges. We must have at least 4 dams, so all the hippos can be housed there, not just from this area, but other areas too.
The Minister of Works, Transport and Communication, Isaac Kamwelwe, has directed Tanzania Communication Regulatory Authority, TCRA, to investigate and take legal action against people who have been misusing social media. Minister Kamwelwe gave the directive in Dar es Salaam when opening an international conference on information communication technology.
We must find them so they can tell us where they got the information. Government news is relayed by the government, not anyhow. The government has a proper system for this. If there is anything the government needs to say, it will inform you.
Minister Kamwele also clarified on reports about the new ATCL aircraft.
kujadiliana na kuja na mikakati ambayo mtaishauri serikali ya kuboresha.
To discuss and come up with a plan to advise the government on TEHAMA so as to increase efficiency in your profession, aimed at improving and developing the communication sector for economic growth and development of our people. I assure you that this government recognizes your contribution. I would therefore like to urge you to use your expertise to come up with new TEHAMA programs so as to minimize foreign dependency.
Na niwatake muendelee kutafakari zaidi.
Some residents of Gologolo village in Shume Ward, Lushoto District, Tanga region blocked a convoy of the Deputy Minister of Land, Housing and Settlement Development, Angelina Mabula, carrying placards and messages opposing Shume Forest Reserve taking over all the land. Addressing the residents, Deputy Minister Angelina Mabula said that they must follow procedures to access the land, as President Dr. John Magufuli has approved 950 villages in the country near conservation areas to be allocated land.
I know your complaints is about land. You don't have enough of it and would like some more. But you know that you are within the forest reserve. For the forest to be reduced so that you can get more land, there are procedures to be followed just like other people have done. One of the challenges include the increase in demand of resources from surrounding communities.
And the police force in Dodoma has arrested 4 nationals from Ethiopia and Somalia, as well as 2 Tanzanians, for transporting them from Arusha to Iringa on motorcycles en route to South Africa. The police commander in Dodoma, SACP Gals Mroto, said the suspects were arrested at Mterward in Mpwapwa district.
Jeshi la polisi baada ya kupata taarifa kwa wananchi wema ilifanikiwa kukamata wahamiaji haramu wanne.
After we received information from members of the public, we managed to arrest 4 suspects led by 2 Tanzanians. They were coming from Arusha going to Iringa on their way across the border.
Kupitia mikoa ya Iringa na kuendelea nchi jirani.
The Minister of Legal Affairs from Palestine, Professor Mohammed Shaladan, has said that the program to develop this health sector by bringing specialist doctors to Tanzania is part of an agreement made during his talks with President Dr. Magufuli. He made the comment when talking about bilateral relations between Palestine and Tanzania.
Already we have a memorandum of understanding between Tanzania and Palestine that has been signed by the International Cooperation Office of following the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Tanzanian government. This memorandum has been in application so far. We are in the process of deploying Palestinian doctors to come to Tanzania to have operations in Senza Palestina Hospital in different areas that the Tanzanian government, Tanzanian people decides on. So we have already decided on, we are in step number 3, where we decided the areas that we can dispatch experts and doctors to come here to Tanzania. And we are waiting for the selection by the Tanzanian government, and especially the Ministry of Health.
Lecturers from universities and experts on science and technology from member countries of the East African community have said that students who fail to achieve the goals face challenges caused by the gap between experts and executives from the private and public sectors.
Director of the doctoral school where we teach PhD students, the solution should be found from the university, because we need to revisit our programs and make sure that we align with the needs. Now, the other issue is that the industry themselves, they don't come out to say that this is what we need. They will just be in their corner, and when you send graduates there, or when graduates go there for job, they will told that they don't fit, the requirements in terms of skills. So I think this is a first step where we need to come together.
We have good quality graduates in general, and our universities are doing a very good job. And the graduates from our universities are actually the ones who are participating in building the economy within the region and even within the African continent. I think what we need to do as a region and as a continent is to have confidence that we can develop, not so much by depending on inputs from other economies. Yes, we are in a global village, we have to collaborate, but we have to trust that Africa, and East Africa in particular, is very rich.
It's about the relationship between the partnership between the academia and the public and private partnerships. This is so important because we are trying to see how research can affect or can impact the industry. And thereby doing so, the industry now can affect the performance of the social group, the people in the countries. So what we are trying to say here is one of the hesitation which has been from the industry to the researchers is that they are afraid of an element of confidentiality from the industry side to be leaked to the competitors.
That's where we leave off with national news. International news is next. And in international news, hundreds of families from Ilio village along the border between Tana River and Kitui counties have been forced to sleep in the open after their houses were demolished by the police. The residents said that government officers from Kitui County, accompanied by police, used 3 bulldozers to demolish a trade center and other structures due to a simmering land dispute. Military commanders from Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, AFRICOM and MONUSCO are meeting in Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo to discuss how to bring an end to rebels in eastern DRC as well as to strengthen peace and security in the Great Lakes region.
Our visitors have come because we've been in talks for a while, so we can work together to bring peace in Congo.
Ethiopian activist Mohammed called for calm on Thursday, a day after 16 people were killed during clashes between his supporters and police in the capital and other cities. Police fired gunshots and tear gas on Wednesday to break up demonstrations against Jawahar's treatment by the government. Jawahar, a media entrepreneur, organized the demonstrations that helped to bring Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to power last year. And at least 29 people have been killed in Kenya due to floods caused by heavy rains over the last 3 weeks. Some 11,700 people have also been displaced, while some 10,000 livestock swept away in the floods. Kenya's meteorological department has warned that heavy rains will continue nationwide until Monday.
Several persons have been affected. Those that have been displaced up to now, we're talking about 11,700 people. Now, livestock have also been swept away, and this includes 10,000 heads of livestock. Now, various parts of farmlands have also been submerged, and therefore making it very difficult for agricultural activities to go on. Now, to date, also 29 people have lost their lives.
And that is all for international news. We'll be back with business news after this break.
Watch Business Edition, as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. The Tanzania Tourism Board, TTB, has said despite measures taken to increase the number of tourists into the country with 33,000 visiting every year, the board has also opened business opportunities between stakeholders in the tourism sector with their counterparts from China.
We've been invited to go to Hanzu with our tour agents from Tanzania so as to allow them to enter into business contracts. We had an initial discussion, but later on signed a contract. Although in China there are many processes to be followed before we could start flying.
Tanzania Trade Development Authority, TanTrade, has started the process to create regulations which will control mushrooming of trade fairs, as some of them have been organized below standard and failed to achieve good results.
There are some shortcomings given the current state whereby exhibitions take place anywhere, so we decided to go through our policies and come up with regulations that are user-friendly. Today we are having a strategic meeting on how to control fairs in the country so that our fairs could have a positive impact.
And farmers from Kinole Ward in Morogoro region have called on the government to set prices for banana, cinnamon, chili, rice and cassava crops in order to address the problem of middlemen who buy the crops from farmers at unprofitable prices.
You find those who buy to sell at a high price. They must help us find better markets for our products. They could come up with their own pricing that suits them.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment of going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Position, Joaquinho, he did lose some length.
And in sports news, Simba Sports Club main sponsor Mohammed Elji has handed the club's players and a technical bench motorcycles and other prizes which he had promised them after winning the Premier League last season.
My players, of course, I would like to thank Mo and all his friends for this reward. So we appreciate it. Even if it takes a little time, but it's never too late, so no problem. So thank you very much for that. I think the players are very happy with that. So I don't know, like John said before, that last year we won one domestic title, and we got this sponsor. Thank you very much.
And Valencia were prevented from joining Chelsea and Ajax on 6 points at the top of Group H by a late equaliser in a 1-1 draw at Lille.
Icone struck 5 minutes into stoppage time for the French side after Valencia went ahead through Denis Cheryshev and later had Mokhtar Diakby sent off for 2 bookable offences. In Group E, Napoli won 3-2 away to Red Bull Salzburg. Dries Mertens overtook Diego Maradona to become the second highest goal scorer in the Italian club's history with a brace in Austria. Lorenzo Insigne claimed the winner for Carlo Ancelotti's side, while exciting 19-year-old Erling Haaland's brace was not enough for the four hosts. Lionel Messi made more Champions League history as Barcelona scrapped an unconvincing 2-1 success at Slavia Prague to move top of Group F. Messi became the first player to score in 15 consecutive seasons of the competition by putting the visitors ahead inside 3 minutes. The Czech champions deservedly levelled through Jean Boril early in the second half, but Barca secured a 6th successive win in all competitions thanks to a 40th own goal from Peter Olayinka. Borussia Dortmund surrendered first place in the group to Barcelona following their 2-0 loss to Internacional. Goals from Lautaro Martinez and Antonio Candreva earned victory for Antonio Conte's man at San Siro. The Dortmund goalkeeper Roman Burki saved a Martinez penalty. In Group G, RB Leipzig came from behind to beat Zenit St. Petersburg 2-1 after second-half goals from Konrad Leimer, and a brilliant winner from Marcel Sabitzer overturned Yaroslav Rakit's opener. Benfica bet Lyon 2-1 in the other game in that group, with Pizzi claiming an 86th-minute winner after Memphis Depay cancelled out Rafa Silva's early opener. In another instance, Jurgen Klopp praised Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for 2 sensational goals against Genk, but admitted he was less than impressed with Liverpool's overall performance in Belgium. The Liverpool midfielder scored his first goals for the club since April 2018, as the European champions strengthened their position in Group E with their first away win in the group stage in 2 years. Oxlade-Chamberlain's second, a chip with the outside of his foot, was exquisite, while Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah also scored what the manager described as a collection of beautiful goals.
Kyrie Irving fell down and frantically rose up, still with a shot to save his Nets debut. Here's more of this story.
Moments later, he was back on the court, laying on his back in disbelief after falling just short in the high-scoring first game for a team in NBA history. Irving scored 50 points but lost his balance and missed a potential winning shot that allowed the Minnesota Timberwolves to pull out a 127-126 victory over Brooklyn in overtime Wednesday night. Despite the loss, Irving said the first game in his new uniform felt incredible. "It's a great starting point," he said. "Obviously, you wanted to come out and get a win in front of our home crowd, but we got another chance on Friday."
And that's what item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and good night.
culinary delights every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. only on Capital Television.
ITV, EATV, Capital TV, Radio 1, East Africa Radio na Capital Radio sasa zinapatikana kupitia satellite Interset 22 uelekeo 72.1 degree East C-band, frequency 3671 MHz, symbol rate 8571 kilosymbol per second, forward error correction 2/3, polarization horizontal.
In Tanzania, we have an amazing array of places we call home. But when it comes to interior designing, decorations, and gardening, we don't make the most of the spaces. On The Decor, you learn about designs, styles, functions, elegance, and traditions by being inspired from the best in the field to transform your spaces and create more memories. On Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
Karen, tell us, how has it been going at this year's festival?
Well, the turnout, Vanessa, is amazing as it is.
Thomas, hello.
Nice to be there with you.
What is the purpose of this meeting and who will be in attendance?
Talking about how African countries can stop relying to a large extent on...
We are definitely seeing a lot of deeply political films, either directly treating a political issue or with a political subtext.
Don't miss the live special report between Capital Television and Dashwell Television at 9:30 p.m.